Gentlemen and gentlemen, my name is Cora34 and here today to do another episode of Prehistoric Subject Files, and today we're going to look at the saber-toothed cat known as Homotherium. Now, Homotherium is a genus of Mancharodontine saber-toothed cat that actually ranged quite wide, in fact. It lived in North America, South America, Eurasia and Africa, and it's been found from ages from 5 to 0.028 million years ago, so from the early Pliocene to the late Pleistocene. It was described in 1890, and currently there is some controversy on the extinction of this animal, but from what they know, in Africa it went extinct 1.5 million years ago, in Eurasia it went extinct 30,000 years ago, in Venezuela it went extinct during the mid-Pleistocene, and apparently became completely extinct 28,000 years ago. Now, Homotherium means same beast because when it was found in 1890, it was actually placed as a subgenus of the genus known as Machaerodus, which was a distinct species and genus at the time. However, later on they actually looked and examined the skulls of Homotherium more distinctly, and what they found is that there's actually a distinction between it and Machaerodus, and what they found is that there's a large decimel between the two inferior premolars, which actually distinguishes it from Machaerodus. It's believed that Homotherium actually derived from Machaerodus during the Miocene-Pliocene border around 5 million years ago, so that's why it actually came into existence, probably due to climate change, and it seemed to have adapted to those changes. Now, during the Pleistocene, Homotherium actually occupied quite a large area. In fact, it occupied large areas in North America, Africa and Eurasia around 1.5 million years ago, though in Africa it was becoming extinct at that time. Now, during some dredging operations in the North Sea, some fossils of the species known as Homotherium crenatidens were actually found, and what they found is that the area it lived in, which was in the North Sea, would have actually been a flat, marshy tundra area, similar to like the Mammoth Steppe, and pretty much was the Mammoth Steppe at the time, and this means that Homotherium actually lived during the most recent periods of glaciation. 1.8 million years ago was known as the Great American Interchange, which is where species from both South and North America actually began to cross land bridges between North and South America and actually evolve and adapt to different environments. And Homotherium was one of these, because what they found is that along with some species, or maybe just one species of Smilodon, is that they actually found that Homotherium actually was able to cross these land bridges and go into South America, and hence why they named the Venezuela species they found there Homotherium venezuelensis. Now, in Eurasia, they've actually named several species of Homotherium. They've named Homotherium nestianus, Sainzelli, Crenatidens, Nihoanensis, and Ultium. These actually differ from body size and canine shape, and also some ranges. But what they found is that there's actually range fluctuation between them that actually could indicate they're actually one species. It's just there's some variation within the species, and what they've known to be known as, pretty much, if these animals are actually only one species, is Homotherium latidens, which seems to be the most dominant species around in Eurasia. In Africa, there are two current species of Homotherium actually known. There is Homotherium ethiopicum and Homotherium hadarensis, which differ very little from the actual Eurasian species, though the only difference from these is actually the African species actually disappeared from pretty much 1.5 million years ago, so that's the only difference that they have from the Eurasian species, but there is a possibility that these actually could represent the same species in Eurasia. Now, in North America, there's only one particularly dominant species of Homotherium, that's known as Homotherium cerium, which actually ranged from the late Pliocene until the late Pleistocene, and what they found is very similar to the African species, and this particular species actually ranged from Texas to Alaska, and is the only saber-toothed cat found in the northern parts of North America, though in the southern parts it actually coexisted with Smilodon. Now, this actually species, or other species of Homotherium in America, are actually given the genus name of Dinobastisis, but however it's been changed due to its similarities with other Homotherium species. Now, fossils of Homotherium, as I've said before, have been found in Eurasia, Africa, and North America, as well as South America, though the thing is that in Eurasia there's large amounts of complete skeletons, but in Africa and North America, and I suppose as well South America, the skeletons are actually rare when complete and mostly fragmentary. Now, there's a cave located in Texas known as the Freycinet Cave, and they've actually found 30 specimens of Homotherium along with juvenile mammoths and several dire wolves. We actually showed that this was actually a very dominant predator, and the area it actually lived in may have actually been a predator trap. Now, Homotherium is actually a very species diverse genus. They've actually found several species. There's Ethiopicum, there's Cronatodens, there's Crucifonti, there is Hadorensis, there's Idahoensis, there's Iscarus, there's Johnstoni, there's Latidens, there's Moravicum, there's Nestianus, there's Nihoensis, there's Senizelli, there's Serum, there's Ultimum, and there's Venezuelensis. But as I've said before, a lot of these could actually be synonyms of each other because of certain variation within the species. Now, Homotherium was quite a large cat by standards. It was around 1.1 meters tall at maximum and probably weighed in at around 190 kilograms. Now, Homotherium actually differed from Smilodon and the other genus known as Megatron from having shorter upper canines than those two, and they were much flatter and actually were more serrated. Now, studies have shown that Homotherium actually used its canines for slashing, although it used its incisors and lower canines as a powerful puncturing or gripping device, and they've also found that the molars on this animal were actually weak, so it wasn't actually like a bone cruncher like some other cats were with their tougher jaws and much more robust skeletons. Another factor that distinguishes it from Smilodon is the fact that it actually has a longer skull than Smilodon, and it actually has more of a developed sagittal crest, and this actually makes the lower jaws on this animal much more powerful than in Smilodon. Now, Homotherium has several unique characteristics that distinguish it quite a bit from other saber-toothed cats, such as basically it has a lot of large cat characteristics, though its hind limbs are actually along the proportions of a hyena. Its forelimbs are quite elongated, and it has actually squattier hind limbs, and partially its feet are plantigrade, meaning its back would actually slope, and its tail is actually quite short. It only has 13 vertebrae in it, and the claws are reduced, and it's actually adapted for endurance more than anything, and it basically allows the animal to actually leap quite a bit higher than other cats. The pelvis of Homotherium is not like that of a cat, it's actually more like a bear's pelvis. The skull and inner cavities of Homotherium's skull is actually very unique as well. They found that actually the nasal openings are actually square and large, and actually better for oxygen intake than other cats. So basically this means it was actually better for running and for cooling the brain. The brain visual cortex is actually quite large and complex, which actually means it could see better in the day than it did at night, which means it probably preferred open habitat such as plains, but also preferred high altitudes and latitudes, so in a colder climate. Now, studies of Homotherium have actually shown that because of its lifestyle, it might have actually been more plainly coloured, so it actually may have resembled more like a lion in appearance, which actually makes sense because it seems to be more of an ambush predator, even though it's built for long distance. So it could be that it's got the ambush capabilities of a lion, but it actually could go long distance like a cheetah, but obviously not as quick as a cheetah, not for as long as a cheetah, because it's not really built for that. Now, studies have shown that Homotherium actually went extinct due to the killings and basically the extermination and also the extinction of large herbivores they actually depended on at the end of the Pleistocene. And what they've actually found is that maybe Smilodon's encroachment on the southern parts of America, and also maybe Smilodon moving up through America and down through South America, may have actually impacted on Homotherium as a genus, because Homotherium and Smilodon did coexist, but actually what they've actually found is that fossils of Homotherium become less abundant further in time it goes to the extinction of Homotherium. So Smilodon may have actually played a factor in actually killing off its fellow saber-toothed brethren. Right guys, so I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about Homotherium. I certainly did. I think Homotherium is a fascinating and underrated saber-tooth. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you later. Bye bye.